Day coming up. I see many of you here haven't sent me your topic. Christian, you're muted. Did you want to say something? Okay then. Fourth Day, yes. Send me your topic for fourth. If you've got something short to present, so much the better. Nice short presentations would be good. And I'd like to say a word about the Mountain View Press remainders. Anybody wants case lots of starting fourth, they are available for the cost shipping. So how can you without one of these? I think that these are, if you can buy a case now and just parcel them out slowly to the booksellers, you might get hugely large sums of money for them. I mean, you know, not the 10 or 20 bucks sort of money. We're talking over 100. I have seen this book, but that's not the sort of thing that I could do. It may be that some of you are smart enough to manage. Things that we only have one or two copies of, probably not good available. But if we have a lot of copies of something, as I push these things out into the great world of recycled paper, I think that I can set aside things for you as long as you're patient. If you want a list, I'm still at forther@comcast.net, so you can communicate with me if you haven't been able to reach me that way. Comcast has a nasty habit. I believe they have this nasty habit of just randomly throw away emails that are intended for me. So they go in the junk drawer or the you know, they still pass along all this malware and phishing emails, but stuff that I really want to see apparently goes into the you know, hyperspace. I guess I should look in my junk more often than I do. So the other thing is that we will be trying to get a complete formal scanned in. As far as I know, that is something that is not available on the internet, and it has recently come up. It is something that I've been thinking about for a while now, which brings me to my actual topic of my actual agenda item talk. All the exciting things that are available online, not formal, sadly, but JFAR. Available, everybody know where? Anybody know where? Speak up. Okay, I guess I'm the only one that knows. Fourth Incorporated on their delightful website has a number of interesting things. And Leon has scanned in, as far as I know, the complete works of JFAR. I think that there's actually a copyright notice in the front of JFAR, so I'm glad it wasn't left to us to do it, since there's no corporate shield on the copyright violations. So if you are afraid that sometime in the near future they'll be taken down because of copyright issues, now's your time to go to Fourth Incorporated's website and make your own personal copy of those scans. Other interesting things, speaking of Fourth Incorporated's website, they are the home of not only the scan of this edition, which I hope is coming out right way. For me, I'm local, so it's mirrored. This edition of Starting Forth, but the latest edition of Starting Forth. You can download that from Forth Incorporated's website. They are the only legally authorized venue. I believe there's at least one mirror, but they are the legally authorized keeper of Starting Forth. And if it's not descended from that tree by permission, it's not allowed. Another interesting is the Forth Programmer's Handbook, and there's a secret recipe for getting that, but I recommend that you go to Amazon. I believe it's still available as a print to order edition. So you can order that book and have it arrive as if by magic. There are still Forth books available, newly printed. Believe it or not, the boggles. Let's see. Another interesting place to find stuff is archive.org. Joe, do you remember the name of that the scan is on archive.org? It's a dictionary of all Forth words. It was a couple, man and woman, who wrote it, Mitch and Linda, Mitch and Linda Baker. Anyway, they eventually got married, but at the time they were just writing books together, apparently. Okay. I talked about the Kit Peak primer. There was a time when that was the only, in the pre-Starting Forth era, the only book that you could get about Forth. The scan of that, anybody know? You guys are all sticks in the mud. Okay, be that way. Hurt my feelings, make me sad. Kit Peak Primer is available from the FIG website, and you can find it there. Let's see, what else have we got here? Did I mention Forth Incorporated ANSI standard? The actual ANSI standard, or maybe it was 10 minutes before the ANSI standard. There's a scan that wavy tome available on that. I may be something that you can not make available as a PDF for the actual one, because ANSI at least used to make a lot of money selling those standards, and they were horrifically expensive. Anybody remember that? You can tell everybody's excited about this stuff. All right. Does anyone have another Forth resource that's available online? I know Bill Ragdale's Win32 Forth guide. I sent out the URL earlier in the chat, and I'm always grateful for some kind of documentation, especially to get started in some of this stuff. Okay. All right. That cheerful note, anyone that's interested in participating in the scanning of the formal SR proceedings and or other things, is encouraged to contact me. We got a lot of stuff, and I'd like to make sure that it survives recycling. And unfortunately, I'm reaching a point where I can't sustain keeping too much of this stuff on my own. So I'm pleased to hear from anybody that, you know, wants a case of starting forth to save it from the paper recyclers. I'm not sure that this particular kind of paper is recyclable so much as they turn up their nose at so much of it these days. The Sunnyvale Smart Center, what we used to call the dump, is now not accepting mixed paper. So it's not clear what you need to do to recycle paper these days.
Yep. Kevin,
yes.
There in my, let me walk over to my shelves here. I've got a few of the formals, not many of them, but I noticed I also have Rochester 4th Conference proceedings. A few of those also. That predates the JFAR.
Yeah, eventually JFAR became the venue for publishing those.
Correct.
It was the special edition.
Yes.
JFAR was the proceedings, but the Rochester Conference was separate. Yes. They may have copyrights on them. I don't know. Maybe have a quick look in the front.
Let me look. Yes, they do. Institute of Applied Fourth Research.
Okay, so what we do in the case of copyrighted or things that are dubious about is that we will scan them anyway, just so that it's on a computer somewhere. And if somebody wants to take it on as a project, to get permission to make it available online. Since we own a copy, clearly, we have the right to scan it in and keep a copy as a scan. Just so long as you're reading it off the computer, you're the guy the one copy that owns it. You're allowed to have a scan of it. As long as you don't give the scan away and keep the book, or give the book away and keep the scan, that's just not fair. So
what I'm wondering about is this ability to mass scan. Trying to do it by hand is not something I want to take on, but doing cutting the binder off and doing a mass scan, if we're going to do that, that would be, I can save these around. And the question is, how do you want these?
I will come and pick them up one of these days and cart them off, and you will worry no more about it. But that has to be after I've dispositioned the storage locker contents, because, you know, at $150 a month, I'm tired of begging others. I'm grateful to the others, but I don't want to do this for too much longer. I meant to do it in September and October, and unfortunately, life interfered. I have been busy at work and doing other things, and unfortunately, as I know with all of you, it's just not possible to focus on something that we want to accomplish like sometimes. But yes, I will, in the next few months, I will come to you and pick them up and cart them off. And I'm hoping to get some kind of scanner, or build some kind of scanner. I've been hoping to do this for years, to scan books in, so that I don't have to keep big piles of paper around. There used to be
you in that effort.
There used to be this thing that you buy that had 2 panes of glass, and you'd set a book down on the 2 panes of glass, and there was a pointed this way and another camera pointed that way, and it would, you know, plop it down, turn page, plop it down, take 2 pictures. Software would do OCR. You know, you turn the page, and there's a whole organization. There's a whole group of folks out on the internet that do this stuff. The thing that you could buy, it turned out, was pretty crappy, but people were building them on their own. So it may be that may be something I build. Alternatively, there is a scanner that has a camera that points down, and it can take a picture of a book that's not particularly flat, but you know, nearly, and it will go across, and in software, it will straighten out the lines of text and correct for the curve in the book. And if you're a fan of Curious Mark, Curious Mark on YouTube had a session, one of his videos deals with one of these, a couple of these versions of this particular brand of scanner. So if you're interested in learning about that technology, that may be some place for you to go. So it, anyway.
They're on my shelf and waiting for whenever you decide to do that.
Okay, and Dave Jaffe, who may be listening, has a scanner at work that you can just, you can cut the binding off yourself. You can just hand it to Dave and he can feed it into this thing and it will read it in and OCR it. It's impersonating a copy machine, but it is a scanner, right, Dave?
You are correct, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it you're willing to do, but it may be path that we take to get formal scanned in within the next few months. So also our friends at what used to be Kinko's will actually cut the binding off and scan something in for you. I'm not sure where what the shear is that will cut off the binding at their place, or whether they'll do it for you. Just hand you back the document that's been debound. I've always thought that a razor blade might be the best way to accomplish this, or a Stanley knife with a nice, the Stanley 99D is my favorite version of that, with a nice fresh blade and a steel straight edge, or even one made from aluminum. All right, anyone, anything else on either of these 2 topics or the 3 topics? One is, where's your 4th day presentation? I want a title and a 2-line summary from each of you. And not at the last minute either. You know, maybe if you could do it this week and get it back to me, I'd be grateful. I'm thinking of contacting Chor and finding out if he wants to talk earlier. So Charles Moore and those Green Arrays ne'er-do-well will be giving us a status report. I don't know, I have to get back to Green Arrays and find out how long their presentation is. There won't be any project Green Arrays talk. Nobody has stepped forward to give any Green Arrays examples at the moment. So it just goes to show you. So get your 4th day talk together, contact you're interested in dealing with Mountain View Press or scanning formal or any of that stuff. If you want a case lot of starting forth and you've got enough money for the shipping, I'm happy to send it to you. If you're within 50 miles of Sunnyvale, California, I will bring the frickin' thing to you. You may wind up with 2 or 3 boxes just because But these may be something that if you're selling things eBay or Amazon, you know, you may be able to make some money from this, and more power to. God only knows. I think we drove poor Andreas crazy trying to deal with this mess. Fortunately, I've got more experience with dealing with messes and having made many of them myself in my life, and I'm already crazy, so it's not a problem for me. All right, and what else? Oh yes, if you've got interesting fourth resources like archive.org and the Fourth Incorporated website and the the things that are available from the FIG website. I'm thinking of making an index. I always say this stuff, and Dave knows that I'll say, oh, I'm going to make an index, or I'm going to make a list of all the current contact information for all those people that are on the TEAC phone book on the FIG website. And frequently it doesn't come to pass. All right. On that cheerful note, I think that I have blathered enough, and I'm always amazed at how what I expect will be an audience participation of all of these torrent of, oh, I know where you can get a copy of this, that, or the other, and it's here in this unexpected place. And then you ne'er-do-wells let me down, so I'm disappointed. So you can redeem yourselves. Just you know my email address. You can send it to me, and we'll talk about it. I think I'd like to talk about this again on fourth day, maybe with a wider audience, and maybe with a wider audience we can find a home for case lots of starting first edition, and maybe everything will be better. Maybe Bill will communicate to the Fourth 2020 group that all of this stuff is available. And if you're really interested in having all this stuff sent to you, I can send you an inventory. Because once it's recycled, I can't pull it out of the waste stream for you and it to you. So I have blathered enough. Thank you for your patience. I'm saddened by your inability to contribute to this segment, though. Hopefully you'll all redeem yourselves and get busy with all of that stuff that I've assigned to you. And